Welcome to HDToyTheater. Today's review is on the DC Direct Batman Incorporated action figure series. Here we have Batman, Bruce Wayne, and Robin, Damian Wayne. And these are very, very well sculpted, beautifully done. The paint job is nice and flawless. The paint apps are nice and crisp. Articulation is pretty typical of DC Direct, but these two figures look phenomenal. Now, Damian stands about 5.5 inches tall, and Batman is about 7 inches tall. So there's a nice scale between the two, and they look pretty much the way you expect them to look, side by side. Damian being a very scrawny little kid, he's very well sculpted in comparison to Batman, who is really buff and built. And really, I have no complaints about these two figures. Batman comes with no accessories. Robin does come with a samurai sword, a very long samurai sword for him because he's a little kid, and a bow staff. Both weapons can be held very, very well, not very nice and tight grips, so no worries of these parts falling off. They're nice and snug and secure on Robin. Now, they both come with a generic black display base with a single peg, which you put into one of the holes under the boot, so you have more stability on your figures. And that's about it. Now, let's take a closer look at these figures a little more in detail. So here's the Bruce Wayne Batman, and he's pretty typical in terms of color scheme, black and gray. No underwear outside the tights. His suit's a little more tactical and almost influenced to a degree by the Arkham Asylum game costume, because there's nice texturing and lining in the suit and the basic tights and the gloves and boots down here, even down at the bottom. The black that they use is a semi-gloss, not too shiny or wet looking, but just enough to make it look like this Batman has a sense of style to his crime-fighting attire. Now, I really like his head sculpt, very cool. Probably one of the best head sculpts to date for a Batman figure in the DC Direct line, and I like the return of the more emblem-like bat on his chest. His belt is really bright. It's a really bright yellow, and I wonder, I think it probably could have been more done in a deeper brown or a lighter brown. It's really overpowering, and I really can't see this belt being used by Batman. I mean, this color, it just burns the eyes. Come on. Now let's take a look at Robin now. We'll just bring it a little closer. I really dig how they pulled off Robin, especially his physique. You can really tell he's a kid, and there's not a lot of muscle to him. It's just, he has kid muscles, and he looks awesome. And definitely a good contrast next to Batman. I like how his Robin symbol is very unique, different from the original Robin and the Tim Drake inspired Robin costume. It's a little more, what's the word? A mini Robin, almost a mini Robin logo to a degree. Now his colors are really nice. They're really muted, not overly powering, except the bright yellow on his cape, which makes sense because he's always sported that kind of yellow overall. Same kind of blacks being used, very kind of semi gloss, not flat, but enough, just a little gloss to bring it out. A nice deep red, deep greens here, and you can see there's some lining done as well in his suit and his boots. No pixie boots this time, but basically green with red laces and black bottoms there. Spinning around, you can see he has the hood here. Unfortunately, you can't put it on. It's kind of sculpted the way it is. And then, of course, his unique mask, very Nightwing almost. There's those little bangs there on the front of his forehead there. So really I like how these figures are sculpted out. Now articulation for both figures are the same. There's one difference I'll point out in a sec. Let's just start with Batman. Ball jointed head, ball hinge arms. Pull it out. Can turn 360, but of course the cape will restrict you to a degree. 360 upper arm rotation, single jointed elbows. 360 wrist rotation. 360 waist rotation. No torso or ab crunching action there. Forward and back rotation on the upper leg. Single jointed knees. Not a lot of range. That's about as much as you can bend it back. And his boots can turn 360. No ankle or foot articulation. Now the only difference between the two Batman and Robin articulations is Robin doesn't have the boot rotation, but everything else is the same. So all the other articulation points are the same. Final thoughts on these two figures. Definitely two figures I'll recommend despite the overly bright utility belt on Batman and the lack of articulation that you would get with, say, a DC Classics figure. These figures are really statuesque and would look great in poses like this on your shelf. They would look great with other DC Direct figures that you may or may not have, and really are priced pretty decently. They go for about 16 bucks. You can get them at your local comic book store, or say online stores like BigBadToyStore.com, and really are, like I said, a worthy buy to a shelf of comic book action figures. So, hope you guys enjoyed the review. Feel free to hit like, dislike, and or comment, and until next time, we'll see you then.